Susan here. Welcome back to my channel. It is autumn here in Canada where I am, and so it is time for another pumpkin recipe. I have other pumpkin recipes on my channel. They are in my playlist. I will link that below so you can check those out after this video. But today I am making perfectly simple pumpkin muffins. They're very few ingredients. They're not overly spicy. They're not too much of anything, and they're really easy and quick to whip up. I found this recipe on the internet, and as I promised you, I'm going to show you warts and all. So we're going to give this one a whirl. I have never made this before. But the recipe itself looks so easy. So let's get into it, shall we? I have my oven preheating to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. This makes 18 muffins. Apparently the prep time is about 10 minutes. Cook time is about 25. For 35 minutes and you have some muffins. So let's get into this. Okay, so first off we have 4 eggs, and you put them in a large bowl and slightly beat them up. There's 2. Of course, you wash your hands first, always. When you're cooking or baking, always first step is wash your hands. So I have done that, obviously, before I fired up the camera. So you slightly beat them. You don't have to go to any great lengths. Just make sure they're not egg-shaped anymore. Just yellow, like so. Okay, so from there we add sugar. I have 2 cups of white granulated sugar, pre-measured just to save time on the video. Not to worry about the recipe itself. I will leave that in the description box below, so you can just focus on the recipe and just, you know, watch me make it. The recipe will be below for you to just copy and paste into your favorite Word program and print, or print right from the screen if you have that ability with your printer. Okay, next, oil. I have 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. This particular oil is soybean. But it is oil, vegetable oil. I think it was on sale or something. That's why I bought this one. But with this much oil in them, they are bound to be really moist muffins. So that is a good thing. Because of the sugar, they are rather fattening, but I would think these would be great as a treat. Not something you'd want to make all the time, but something special, like for fall. Okay, next we add pumpkin. And this is 1 3/4 cups of pure pumpkin puree, not pie pumpkin, okay? This is, actually, I made this pumpkin puree from a pumpkin, and that was quite simple to do. A lot of work, but simple. You just simply take the seeds out, obviously, and all the goop inside, and then you cut the pumpkin up and roast them in the oven. Roast the pieces on a cookie sheet. And when it's soft enough, it's like a squash, right? You simply scoop that out into a food processor and puree it down. So you know where it's coming from. And the canned stuff, you don't know what they've added to it, preservative-wise, etc. So I always like to process our own pumpkins here. And my husband gets the benefit of seeds as well, which I roast for him as a special treat. Okay, so there goes the 1 3/4 cups of pumpkin puree. And now we want to mix that all in. Till it's a unified color there. Make sure it's all together properly. Okay, now we set this aside. It's beaten as thoroughly as I'm going to beat it. We set this aside and prepare the dry ingredients. Into a medium bowl, we are going to add 3 cups of all-purpose flour, which again I've pre-measured just to save time on the video. That's 3 cups of flour, and to that we add 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Surprise, it's not the usual pumpkin spice stuff, right? This is just cinnamon, which is really healthy for you. I'm going to get a knife to level that off with, because I don't have a handy dandy little cap to do that with. I'm making a mess. Oh well, warts and all, right? Okay, so 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. No big deal. Cleanup is easy. That is one thing in this kitchen. Boom, done. Okay, next we're going to add to the flour and the cinnamon 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm just using Flashman's powder. It's what we have. Brand name doesn't matter. There's 1. These of course are level teaspoons. 2. Okay. That's 2 of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Now the baking soda is in a clear tub because I buy this in bulk to save some money. And it lasts through all my baking and stuff I do. I always have baking soda on hand. There's 1 baking soda and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And there we go. That's it. That's all the ingredients in this recipe. Did I tell you it was simple or what? Okay. Let's do this. My trick is to use a whisk because the wires get right down in and thoroughly mix it up. It's an easy way to make sure it's evenly incorporated into the mixture. There we go. And the benefits of using a glass bowl, you can see the sides. You can see how there's no white pockets where it's not mixed in. And there we go. Alright, so as usual with most recipes, you add the dry to the wet. So we'll just give it a brief mix and start slowly adding in the dry ingredients. That ensures that everything gets mixed evenly. There's no pockets of anything because you're starting with both being mixed and then you slowly work one into the other. smells delicious. Time to switch to a spatula to get all the stuff off the edges. There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. According to the sides, I've got it all thoroughly mixed. Okay, put this aside for a second. And we bring in our prepared muffin tray. Now, according to the recipe, these are quite moist muffins. You divide the batter between the 18 muffin cups. You'll be filling them almost to the top of liners, with just a little bit of liner showing, or if you don't use liners, you can grease the muffin cups and the tops, so it'll be easier to release. So I'm not using liners. I like my silicone. I still grease them anyway, just to be sure. Normally there's not a problem with release, but any recipes I haven't tried yet, I usually grease anyway, just to be sure. So here we go. You fill it almost to the top with just a little bit extra space. This is always the messiest part, but you can always clean up afterwards. Okay, there's 2. Okay, I'm going to call that 3 of these big tablespoons I got here per cup. And we shall see. That is almost to the top of the muffin cup. And I will be right back when I've filled everything up. Okay guys, I'm back. I have filled up all of the cupcake muffin tins that I had prepared, and that is 24. Okay, perhaps mine are a bit small sized forms. I don't know, but I still have, you ready for this? I still have more mix. So there's probably another, I'd say maybe 4 or 6 in there. So this recipe is going to yield big if you are using smaller muffin tins like I am. But anyway, here's the first tray, and it's going in the oven now. I will be back when these are ready. The recipe suggests 25 minutes, but as with any unknown recipe, you put it in at the appointed temperature and judge the time for your oven. All ovens cook differently, hot spots, cooler spots. You know best what your oven will do. I'm going to set my timer for about 20 minutes and watch them. I'll be back when I have something to show you. Hello, back again. Okay, the muffins, the pumpkin muffins, are out of the oven now, and they have sat on the cookie sheet for at least 5 minutes, as you can't take these out of the pan right out of the oven. They are fairly soft when they're hot, but if you leave them for 5 minutes, they pop right out of the tray like that. They have a crunchy top on them. The bottom is fairly soft, okay? They are really, they smell wonderful. And here is what they look like inside. Nice and soft.
Yeah, let's see what they taste like.
Okay, I have a taster.
They're good.
They're good. That's
Wow.
all?
They're not fantabulous. They're good. I like them.
Okay.
Best you get.
There's a sign of approval. The inside is soft and moist, and the top is a bit of a crunch on it.
A little bit.
A little bit. Now these are best the day they're baked. Okay, they're really good because he's stealing the rest of them.
Your own now.
These are the best the day they're baked. Otherwise, they lose their crunchy top the longer they're at room temperature. If you prefer to keep the crunch, if you're not using them the same day, freezing is a good option. These do freeze well. And then you just thaw them at room temperature, and they're back like they're just out of the oven. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I think I'm going to be probably putting these into my recipe index, and probably going to make them again because they were simple to make. There were very few ingredients, very natural. There's no preservatives and stuff. I know where the pumpkin puree came from. I made it. So, yeah. Thanks very much for watching, and be sure to check out my playlist that all my cooking and baking videos are on. Again, I'll leave the link in the description box, as well as the recipe, so you can copy and print and try it yourself. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like to see more baking and cooking videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.